Hi guys, I'm Mengya. Here is the overview of my presentation for this assignment. First of all, I'm going to discuss the 4 levels of the SEMO model. Then I will discuss the link between this pedagogical framework and current Australian policy initiatives, including Melbourne Declaration on Educational Goals for Young Australians, information and communication technology capability in the Australian curriculum, and Australian professional standards for teachers. Finally, I will talk about how this pedagogical framework can be applied to enhance the learning environment of the class I taught during my last practicum. First of all, let me explain what the SEMO model is. The SEMO model is a 4-level approach which supports teachers to select, use, and evaluate technology in contemporary educational settings. The acronym stands for the 4 levels of the model. They are substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. At the substitution level, new technology replaces old technology, but no functional change is generated. For example, in a study conducted by Gromick, students enrolled in an English language class were required to record videos with mobile phones of themselves talking about certain topics. Then, the videos were uploaded and could be viewed by all students in the class. The task aimed at helping students practice composing and speaking English. In this case, mobile phones acted as a direct substitute for other traditional learning activities, such as in-class speech, but did not offer functional improvement. At the augmentation level, technology acts as a direct tool substitute, but with functional improvement. A study conducted by Trong and Cao provided a perfect example here. One group of the nursing students participating in the study received twice daily text messages about specific medications in addition to regular lectures. Results showed that this group of students had higher learning gains than the rest of the participants. The use of technology in this case substituted for having students to create their own flashcards. It augmented learning by prompting students to regularly revise and memorize the information after class time. Using technology on the substitution and augmentation level can make learning activities more efficient, but is not likely to bring big differences to students' learning outcomes. Teachers are encouraged to move up to the transformation levels when teaching with technology, and that is where most of the learning takes place. The modification level involves technology significantly redesigning learning tasks. For instance, in a study conducted by Wang, Yu, and Wu, students enrolled in a speech and debate course were required to work in groups to practice within mobile social network applications such as Facebook, WeChat, or YouTube. In the past, attaining social interaction required students and teachers to be tied to a physical space, such as a traditional classroom. But as mobile technology has evolved, students and teachers are able to achieve benefits of social interactions anywhere in real-time web-based learning environments. According to the social constructivist theory, collaborative learning provides opportunities for students to share their different perspectives with each other, negotiate, and come up with a solution to a problem. Through this process, students build on prior knowledge, learn from peers, develop critical thinking skills, and consequently are more likely to achieve deep understanding of knowledge. The highest level of this model, redefinition, is achieved when technology allows for the creation of new tasks that would previously have been inconceivable. For example, instead of assigning a persuasive essay, a teacher requires students to create and present their arguments through individually created and edited videos, and then publish the video to receive feedbacks from people around the world. In this case, technology has redefined a simple writing task to including creation, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. It is suggested that in order to help students get the most out of technology integrated learning, educators should design teaching and learning activities that not only include the transformation section of the SEMA model, but also the higher order thinking skills of Bloom's revised taxonomy. The example I mentioned just now when discussing the redefinition level provides a perfect example. This activity of creating videos to present arguments not only involves the transformation area, but also prompts students to develop their evaluating and creating skills. Furthermore, designing activities targeting at the transformation levels and higher order thinking skills assists teachers to meet the requirements set out by the Melbourne Declaration on Educational Goal for Young Australians. One of the goals articulated by this initiative is all young Australians become successful learners, confident and creative individuals, and active and informed citizens. To support young Australians to become successful learners, teachers are expected to encourage students to develop essential skills in ICT, build critical thinking skills, take responsibility of their own learning, and work collaboratively in teams. Let's go back to this example again. Through completing this task, students not only learn skills of using ICT, but also develop their critical thinking skills while doing research and composing their arguments. Meanwhile, the activity involves independent work as well as communication and collaborative learning with other people. In another policy initiative, which is the Australian curriculum, ICT is also one of the general capabilities that should be developed across all learning areas. It plays an important role in equipping young Australians to live and work successfully in the 21st century. When it comes to comprising ICT capacity in language class, which is my KLA, Australian curriculum encourages the use of digital environments and technologies in the target language. Accessing live target language environments and texts via digital media contributes to the development of ICT capabilities as well as linguistic and cultural knowledge. Meanwhile, it also can expand students' learning opportunities while their exposure to the target language is very limited during school time. It informs me that when designing activities based on the SEMA model, in addition to considering the higher order thinking skills, appropriate selection of technology is also vital. I'll give you a simple example. If I'm going to give students a similar learning task to this, I would require students publish the video on Chinese community-based social networking site rather than YouTube. Safety issues that may emerge from technology-integrated learning activities cannot be neglected. Graduate teachers are required to show an understanding of the relevant issues and employ available strategies to support a safe, responsible, and ethical environment of using ICT. As I discussed just now, use of social networking sites or applications can expand students' learning opportunities. Nevertheless, at the same time, students are more likely to encounter cyberbullying. Strategies to address this problem include explicitly explaining the school's policies regarding cyberbullying and the consequences of offense before giving students the task. Secondly, modeling and explicit teaching of positive online language and behaviors, and also giving students a protocol to follow when cyberbullying occurs, such as do not respond to the message, save it, log off the site, and then report to teachers or parents. Helping students to recognize intellectual property is also essential. Referencing conventions should be taught, and students are to cite all the resources they use to give proper credit and avoid plagiarism. After considering how the SAMR model and current policy initiatives together can inform better practices, now I'm going to discuss how they can support the learning environment of the class I taught during my last practicum to become more suitable for contemporary learning principles. The physical classroom of the class, including setting of furniture, was similar to this picture. Technologies available in the room were overhead projector and laptops. They were used usually when I needed to play recording for listening exercise, get students to do Kahoot quizzes, or put up a list of sentences for students to translate. Consequently, students were allowed to use their laptops only when doing online quizzes. After learning the SAMR model, I reflected that these tasks were planned at the two enhancement levels, where the technology simply functioned as a substitution for worksheets or handouts. Thus, there would be minimal or no improvement to students' learning outcomes. As I elaborated earlier, in order to bring significant impact to students' learning outcomes, tasks should be designed at the transformation levels. In addition, according to the contemporary learning framework, students' capacity should be built based on collaboration and communication, critical thinking and creativity, reflection and exploration with and building upon knowledge. Meanwhile, diversity and difference should be respected throughout all learning processes. Based on these ideas, here is an example of how the learning environment I described just now can be improved to be in line with the features of contemporary learning. Let's say the topic of the lesson is traditional festivals in China. First of all, I will flip the classroom. This video illustrates how it works.
First, the teacher makes a video that delivers the content they'd usually teach in class. Then they share it online with students who can watch it before the next lesson. This leaves the teacher free to spend class time leading activities that help students apply the knowledge. Students can rewind and re-watch a video as many times as they like and come back to class with questions for the teacher. So keeping up with the class is no longer an issue. Students can access the video at any time using mobile devices, giving them the ability to learn more independently. Instead of sitting and listening, students can spend class time applying knowledge in more practical ways. And teachers are free to spend their time working with students and giving them individual support and attention.
Basically, I will provide a video of myself introducing traditions of important festivals in China for students to watch before the lesson. Students can refer back to the video as many times as they need. It allows them to learn at their own pace. When coming to the class, students interested in the same traditional festival will form a group. It helps students to gain a sense of belonging and gives them some extent of autonomy. Then, they will be required to work in groups to find out the origin behind these traditions and their influence on contemporary Chinese-speaking community using ICT. And then, note down these findings in one Google Doc. Afterwards, they should discuss and comment on group members' findings in the document. When students are working on these activities, the teacher is freed up to spend time working with students, give them individual support, and meet their learning needs. And that is where differentiated teaching takes place. Moreover, learning is situated in an environment which is collaborative and also encourages and supports diverse ideas when it allows multiple members to co-produce and improve the same content. Next, each group should create a video to present their findings and understanding in a logical way, and then upload it to Weibo so that the whole class can access to it. The form of the video can be various, including role-play, animation, multimedia presentation, and so on. This activity aims at developing ICT skills and creativity. Finally, students should watch the videos made by the other groups. In the comment area under the video, make statements and reflections around their own understanding of the video. Ask questions and make comparison with the festival their own group focus on. This activity prompts students to learn through interactions with peers and reflection. It extends the boundaries of the classroom, and learning is more likely to happen beyond the traditional classroom. In conclusion, when planning technology-integrated lessons, teachers should take relevant pedagogy framework, current policy initiatives, and contemporary learning theories together into consideration. Multiple forms of interactive, social, and self-publishing media tools should be utilized to create a self-paced, customized, on-demand learning path for students. At the same time, safe, responsible, and ethical use of ICT should be explicitly taught to students and highlighted throughout the whole learning process. Here are the discussion questions. I am in my second year of education study, and my only teaching experience comes from my last practicum. But I know that most of the people enrolling in this unit have many years of teaching experience. So I would like you to, based on your own experience, to discuss whether the strategies suggested under the improved learning environment section are practical to implement in classroom. And can you also suggest some alternative activities? And my second question is, what safety issues surrounding the use of ICT should teachers be aware of in addition to cyberbullying? And what strategies can be taken to prevent and address these issues? This is my reference list. Thank you for your attention.